Guys, I have a request if you don't mind. Can you hear me?
Voice is not clear. Can you anyone stop the music?
Okay, wait.
Yeah,
Okay, hello. Can you hear me?
yeah. Now clear.
Okay, so can I ask the participants to do a small favor? Can you open the camera during our opening speech and also lucky draw session? Can you do that?
Sure, sure.
It's at the beginning and at the end. I hope everyone can open the camera so that I don't feel like I'm talking by myself. Just going to wait for a few more minutes for the rest of the participants to enter our Google Meet. Right, guys. I think we're gonna start now. We're gonna begin. Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our distinguished guests. Our guest speaker, Mr. Umar Abdul Aziz, our internship coordinator, Dr. Wan Nur Shira Wan Mama Ghazali, honorable lecturers, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Smart Youth 2020 Save and Earn webinar. My name is Liana Ibrahim and I will be your moderator for today. Before we begin, I would like to call upon Brother Hamdi for the recitation of Dua. Please welcome.
Thank you, Sister Ilyana. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, on this glorious day, we uphold our hands to pray gratefully, to thank on your infinite favor to us, till we can live in peace and harmony, to perform our tasks as your servants. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, we ask your blessing to make this occasion in success and will provide us knowledge and positive inputs. Allahumma ya hayyu ya qayyum ya dal jalali wal ikram. Allahumma yassir wa la tu'assir rabbi tamim bil khair. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Amin, Amin, Ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Brother Hamdi, for the recitation of Dua. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Wan Nur Shira Wan Mama Ghazali as our internship coordinator to officiate the ceremony. Please welcome.
Thank you to the moderator, Sister Ilyana. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to convey my heartiest appreciation to our speaker for the morning session, Mr. Umar Abdul Aziz, the guy of Airbnb, for his willingness to share his expertise today with all of us. And secondly, to the committee members who have been so dedicated in organizing this event, as well as to the participants who registered today. So a short note, as reported in the Utusan Malaysia on the 21st July, up to 500,000 people lost their job due to COVID-19 by May this year. And by the end of December 2020, it is estimated that nearly 2 million people will be jobless. Yes, COVID-19 is one of the contributing factors, but there are other underlying problems that need to be addressed among the people, especially the young ones, so that they will be more prepared to face this kind of situation in future. So basically, this will be the main highlight of today's webinar. Okay. On that note, with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, the webinar on Save and Earn is officiated. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Dr. Wan Nur Shira. Now, let's have a look at our short video that we prepared just for you. Thank you, Astra, for the video. First and foremost, I would like to thank our official sponsor, the Rack Boutique Cafe, for sponsoring our webinar for today. The Rack Boutique Cafe is located in Selayang and offers various cuisines ranging from seafood shoutouts to Western cuisine. For more info on the cafe, visit the Rack Boutique Cafe on Facebook and Instagram. So now we can check out this teaser video that the Rack Boutique Cafe has prepared for us. Thank you, Astra. All right, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I would like to give my warmest welcome to all the participants gathered here today for spending time with us on a Sunday morning to join our webinar. On behalf of my team, Smart Youth 2020, we thank you. Now, before we begin our first session of the webinar for today, let me introduce our speaker, Mr. Umar Abdul Aziz. Mr. Umar, or also known as the Airbnb Guy, is an Airbnb host and real estate negotiator who has over 6 years of experience with Airbnb. He received his education at Drexel University in Philadelphia and now has his own company, Smart Home Airbnb. Mr. Umar hosts 23 properties in ICT Shah Alam, and his unique selling point is the smart home technology. The title of his talk for today is Real Life Entrepreneurs, the Disruptive Income Generator. Without further ado, please welcome Mr. Umar Abdul Aziz. The floor is yours.
Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. Can you guys hear me? You can just type it in the chat box if you can hear me. All right, cool.
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Umar.
I'll be sharing my screen for. Okay, so you have my slides. Okay, that's great. All right. Okay, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me for this talk. So at first I was very reluctant to agree to giving a talk because I'm just a simple person. I haven't achieved anything. But then I asked myself, if my 20 years old were to listen to this talk, will he be benefited from this talk? And I think my 20 years old will be benefited from this talk. So that's why I agreed to join this session this morning. And please apologize, I get a bit nervous because I'm speaking in front of 88 students from UIA, which is the best Islamic university in Malaysia. So please excuse my nervousness. Okay, so I would like today's session to be very, very casual. You don't have to call me Mr. Umar, you can just call me Umar. I think I'm only 2 or 3 years older than you guys. Can you go back to the previous slides? Okay, first, yeah, this one. So I would like to congratulate you guys because you guys woke up at 10 a.m. in the morning, and it's Sunday. So it's a very hard thing to do, to wake up early in the morning on Sunday to listen to a random person, like a very stranger. It's a very stranger. You guys are listening to a stranger. So I would like to congratulate you guys for putting an effort to wake up early in the morning. Okay, can you go to the next slide? Okay, so a little bit background of myself, because I think in order for you to get the whole story, I think it will be beneficial for me to tell a bit about myself. So my name is Umar Abdul Aziz. I'm graduated from Drexel University in Philadelphia, and I'm majoring in marketing, and my expertise in digital marketing. Next. Okay, so I started doing Airbnb back in 2014 in Philadelphia. So it all started when I lived with a few fellow Malaysian friends. So during summer, so I live in an apartment with 3 bedrooms. So during summers, all of my housemates went back to Malaysia, and I left alone in the apartment. So they went back to Malaysia for 3 months. So I started thinking that how can I fully utilize the apartments? Because they're going back for 3 months, they paid the rental. So that's when I started to look up for Airbnb. So when they went back to Malaysia, I put the house on Airbnb, and instead of living in the house, I go and live with my friends for rent free. And for 3 months, I did get a lot of profits because I don't have to pay for the rent, but I put my house on Airbnb. So that's when that was the first time I started to know about Airbnb. So as you can see, these are the two pictures that two of my guests. So the good thing about Airbnb is that you will meet with a lot of people from all over the world. So I get to meet with, on the left side is the two guys from I think they are from Czech Republic, and on the right side is the two guys from Japan. So Airbnb it's like connecting people all around the world. So it's very fun to get to know people through Airbnb. Next. Okay, so upon graduation, what I did was I worked with Tui Hellas. Tui Hellas is a one of the big travel agency in Europe. So I work in Heraklion, Greece. I worked there for almost a year. So that's where I fall in love with hospitality and travel industry. Even though my background is a marketing, but I think I fall in love with hospitality after I graduated. Next. So in 2018, so after I work in Greece, I came back to Malaysia to work with one of the best hotel in Malaysia. It's called Hotel Equatorial. So over there, I grew my passions and I grew my love for hospitality. So yeah, while working with hotels, I started to realize that there's a lot of opportunity that can be made through Airbnb. So while working with the hotels, I also started my Airbnb business in Malaysia. And there's a very interesting story why I decided to start Airbnb in Malaysia. So if I were to go back, so when I was in Philadelphia, I only did Airbnb for 2 years. And after 2 years, I decided to stop because I need to work in Greece. So when I came back to Malaysia, I stopped for about a year. So after an incident happened, that's when I started to start doing Airbnb again. So after I worked with Hotel Equatorial, I worked with a startup company in travel industry as well. The startup company called TripFest. So I worked there around 6 years. And recently on March, I got retrenched. So they decided to let me go because of COVID-19. As you know that travel industry is the hardest industry that been hit by COVID-19. So you can see the pictures, almost half of us got retrenched because of COVID-19. But I was lucky because while working full time, I also working on my side hustle or my side business. So when I got retrenched, Alhamdulillah, luckily I have something to fall back on, which is my my Airbnb business. So yep, because of what happened, because of the retrenchment, I decided to go full time doing Airbnb. So just a little bit background about my business. So in the layman terms, what we are doing is that we are a Airbnb operator. So we are operating 23 properties. Right now, we are only in ICT Shah Alam. And as been told before, our name is Smart Home Airbnb. The reason why we're using the smart home because we're integrating a smart home technology on every of our units. Okay, so this is a story why I started Airbnb in Malaysia. So I think it's a very good story to tell. Every time my friends ask me why I started Airbnb, I always tell them this kind of story. So last year, I was supposed to get married to someone. 2 weeks before the so 2 weeks before the marriage, she decided to call it off. So when that happened, I was left with a very broken heart. And then I was left with some amount of money because when you want to get married, you have some reverse cash. You collect cash in order to get married. So I was left with a broken heart and I was left with some amount of money. So that's when I decided to do something to take away my mind from the event that happened. So that's where I decided to continue doing Airbnb. So how I started Airbnb is that I believe that I have a very good experience in hospitality. I work in Greece for a year. I work with the best hotel in Malaysia for almost 2 years, and then I work with a with a travel agency for 6 months. And then I have a very great patience about smart home technology. So in Malaysia, it's very, very difficult for you to get smart home devices. I tried to take a look about, I tried to play around with smart home technologies in Malaysia, but it's very difficult. In order for you to buy a Google Home Mini, you couldn't get it in any of the physical stores in Malaysia. You have to buy it through online, and through online, the price is very, very expensive. So that's where I decided to combine both my expertise in hospitality and also my passion in smart home. Okay, so Airbnb is a very, very simple business. So what we do is we do rental arbitrage. So all of the house that we have, we rent it out from the landlord for 1 year period. So I go to the landlord saying that, hello, Mr. Landlord, I would like to rent your house for a year, and then I'll pay you 1,200 every month. So when I rent it from the landlord, what I do is that I take the house and I put it on Airbnb on a daily basis. So for example, I rent it for 1,200 and I put it on Airbnb for 100 a day. So in a month, I can get up to 300, up to 3,000. So the difference between what I get from the guests on a daily basis versus what I need to pay to the landlord is my profit. So this is what people call rental arbitrage. So basically, Airbnb is that you are making money out of someone else's property. You don't even need to have to own a property. So all the 23 properties that we have, we don't own it. We only rent it out from the landlord. So as you all know, Airbnb is a very highly competitive industry because the barrier to entry is very, very low. Let's say, for example, you have 100,000 ringgit. Tomorrow you can enter the business. You can compete with me in ICT Shah Alam. So I try to think of something on how can I be competitive? How can I create a blue ocean? So Airbnb right now in ICT is a very red ocean. As you can see on the slides, on the top left, you can see that in ICT there's over 300 units available, and on the right side you can see on the heat map, you can see that there's a lot of the pop-ups. There's a lot of on the right side, you can see there's a lot of units over there. So it is a very highly competitive. I call ICT as a red ocean. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to create a blue ocean. So blue ocean is where you create your own unique USP so that you are not competing with anyone. So the red ocean is that you are competing against a lot of competitors. So what I try to do is that instead of competing against providing a place to sleep, what I do is that I'm providing a service. I'm providing an experience, a smart home experience to my customers. Because it's ICT. So whenever people go to ICT, the word I itself, people would think that, okay, ICT should have something futuristic. So ICT and smart home, I think it go well together. Is it possible for you to play the video? So this is some of the very simple thing that you could do at the. So what I'm about to show is the features that we have in all of our houses. So what we do is that we bought a Google Home Mini, we put it inside the house. So the Google Home Mini, it acts as a brain to the house. And then we change all the bulbs and all the switches to a smart bulb and smart switches. I don't know whether you can hear it or not, but what I did was I tell Google, okay, Google, turn off the lights. And then the light will turn off. And then I say, okay, Google, turn on the lights. The light will be turned on. So it is a very simple.
All right, turning 2 lights on.
Okay, so it's a very simple smart home features. But I think people in Malaysia, we are not very aware about smart home features. So one of my objectives is that I want to bring the awareness of smart homes, because right now, in order for you to turn your house into the smart home, it is very, very cheap. It's just that we don't have the right resources. We don't have the right awareness for us to do the smart home technology. So, okay, so this is something that I always tell people. So whenever you want to do a business, you must validate your idea. So when we started Airbnb, we don't just simply open 23 properties and let it run. So what we did was, at first, I started with one Airbnb only. I started with, people call it MVP, minimal viable product. So when I do the Airbnb, I only open one unit. So I opened one unit for almost 3 months, and throughout the 3 months, my occupancy rate is almost 100% every month. So that's when I decided to open another one. So when I open another one, the occupancy rate is also very high. And when the occupancy rate is high, that's when I decided to open 5. I also get 100% occupancy rate. So I decided to go to 10, decided to go to 20, and up until now we have 23. So it is very important that if you have a business idea, the first thing first that you need to do is to validate your idea. Don't be what people call short sendiri. So I would like to say that we're actually proud that we survived MCOs, because MCO is a lot of businesses, they have to close, especially the ones that are in travel industry. You see a lot of hotels, they are forced to close down, but alhamdulillah, we are very fortunate that we survive MCOs. So as you can see on the graph, you can see that on March, we are rising upwards, and then suddenly on April, we have a very steep downfall. This is because of MCOs. But MCO is actually a blessing in disguise for us. It is because when MCO was announced by our Prime Minister, they asked all the hotels to close down. So when they asked hotels to close down, at the first few weeks, the government didn't provide any facilities for those who want to do quarantine. So they have to do quarantine in their house. And most of them are not comfortable quarantine with their family members. So they wanted to go for hotels, but then all hotels are closed down. And the last place that they need to they can look out for is Airbnb. So this is when a lot of Airbnb actually profited, because these people, they want to do quarantine at our place. So the night during MCO, when MCO was announced, I called up my partner and said that, okay, this is it. We need to close our business. We need to find a way to exit this business, because there's no way people will travel. We have to exit the business. This is the end of our business. But before we close down the business, we did think of something. We said that, oh, why not we change the title of our units? We give a good promotion to them, and we say that we sanitize everything, and we did sanitize everything. So even before MCOs, we did buy a sanitizer where you put your sanitizer, and then it will vaporize and sanitize. So we mentioned that in our titles, and because of that, we get a lot of hits. People feel more comfortable to live with us. So what I realized, what MCO really taught us is that we have to be very flexible. So we have to act very, very fast. So for example, when MCO happened, we have to think, we have to give out promotion, we have to tell people that we sanitize the house. Yeah, okay, I think that's all that I have to talk about my business. This is something so I have 3 things that I would like to tell my 20 years old, the advice that I would give to my 20 years old self. So the first thing first that I would advise him to do is, I would advise him to read a lot. But not to read any kind of books. I would advise him to read a lot of business books, a non-fiction book. And the second one is that I would ask my 20 years old self to just execute the idea. This is because when you read a lot, you will have a lot of information, you will have a lot of confidence, you will have a lot of knowledge. So with knowledge, it is very easy. It's not easy, but it is very, you will be comfortable to execute the idea. Because I believe that every business idea, they have their own half-life. It means that if you don't take action on your business idea, throughout time, the idea will just diminish. You will not find the idea interesting anymore. So it's very important for you. If you find a good business idea, just execute it. And in order for you to execute it is to do what I did, which is the MVP. Don't go in a big scale, just do it in a very small scale. And the last one is that I would advise myself to always ask for my parents' dua, because I think that the thing that I achieve right now, it's maybe 5 to 10% of my own effort, and 90% it's because of their blessings and their dua. So it is very, very important to get their blessings and dua in whatever that you are doing. And yeah, if you would like to know how it looks like to be an Airbnb host, you can take a look at my my Instagram, which is Umar Abdulaziz. And the second one is that you can take a look at my business account. So so right now, since I'm a full-time host, what I'll do is that I'll tell people about what I do as a host, what is the issues that I'm facing, the challenges I'm facing. So if you are keen to become an Airbnb host, you can always follow me. And if you would like to know more about Airbnb hosts, how to host a house, or even if you or your family, they have a vacant house that you would like to turn it into an Airbnb, you can just hit me up. I'm more than happy to share with any one of you. Yep, I think that's all for my sharing session today. And I would like to apologize that I don't know, I feel very nervous talking to 101 people out there. But if you have any questions or you have anything, you can just ask away on the chat, or you can open the mic, I think.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Umar, for the delightful talk. Personally, I think it takes deep courage to turn a heartbreak and channel it into focusing on your business. That is very inspiring, and it will be a dream come true if your smart home technology will be implemented in all our homes in the future. Now, before we move on to our Q&A session, I would like to give my warmest welcome to Professor Datuk Sri Dr. Syed Arabi Aidid, former Rector of International Islamic University Malaysia, for being with us here today. Thank you, Datuk Sri. And now I open the floor for a Q&A session with our speaker. You can either turn on your camera and microphone, or write down on the chat box and I will read it out for you. So yes, we are opening the floor for questions. Any questions?
I think I saw one question on the chat box. So Shahid asked
Chat
that.
box, yeah.
Yeah. Shahid asked, what was the tools that helped me to jumpstart the Airbnb business? Was it by using Google Ads, Facebook Ads, or something? So what I did was I sell the story of my heartbreak. So I sold that story to all of my friends. I put it on Twitter, I put it on Instagram, and people actually buy that story. So because of that, they keep on sharing they shared my story, they shared my Airbnb, and it actually went not really viral, but it get a lot of coverage. I don't use any Google Ads or Facebook Ads at the moment, even though I came from the digital marketing background. But I think for this, I don't have to use that. I'm using the zero cost marketing.
All right. Any more questions? Actually, I have a question.
Yeah, go on.
Mr. Umar, yes. When you wanted to start your business, right, did you have a fear of failure? Did you have this kind of, not mindset, but at the back of your mind, did you think that, what if I did not succeed? What am I going to do? Can you share us a bit about your opinion on that?
I think yeah. I mean, everyone have their own fear. So that's why I think that if you read a lot of books, if you read a lot of if you have a lot of knowledge, you still have the fears, but then you have a very calculated risk, and the fear will just be, it will minimize. And for my case, I actually lost someone that I really loved, and there's nothing more to lose. I have lose. I think I have nothing to lose. So that's why it gives me courage to to start the Airbnb in Malaysia.
All right, thank you.
I saw a couple.
It's really inspiring. Another question? Okay, so from Muhammad Shazwan, is it? How is your opinion about sublet business?
Okay, so one thing that I have, I mean, like I haven't done any sublet business before, but from my understanding, what business does is that they rent a property. It's have it has three bedroom, for example. They're gonna split it into 6 bedrooms. So I don't like this kind of business, is because I have to deal with 6 people. I have to keep on chasing them. I have to keep on chasing them for the rental, for example. What I do with my Airbnb is that I try to make it automated as possible. So I don't have, everything was done by through Airbnb. So I don't have to chase them for the rental. If anything were to happen to the house, Airbnb actually have insurance for that. So I don't have to chase them to pay the house, etc. And and another question by Haikal is that, as a starting capital, did you approach an investor or you work out on it yourself? Oh, I used the money that was supposed to use for the wedding, so I don't have to approach any investors. And another question is that, do you provide any training for those interested to be Airbnb hosts like you? No, I don't provide any training, but what you can do is that you can come to Shah Alam, you can buy me a cup of coffee, and then I'll teach you. How you keep on the spirit when doing the business? What's your tips? Some of us doing part-time job, so there are times when we fell down. Please share your tips. I do have my downtime sometimes, and the way I keep my spirit up is that I'll always talk to my parents. I always ask them to pray for me, and if I feel down, I'll take a time off. I'll go out to have a coffee with my friends. I go and watch, I go and play games. I do things that I love in order to take my mind away from the business.
I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, my question is, this has many competitors. How do you sustain your business and what is your strategy?
Okay, like I told you before, the unique point that, so I mentioned that Airbnb is a great ocean, so it's full with competitors. So what I do is that I try to play with the smart home technology. So if you were to go on Google's and if you were to search smart home Airbnb, you're gonna see our listings to be on top, because no one has actually used a smart home for Airbnb. So I think that we have a very good unique selling point. But then sooner or later, someone will copy our our unique selling point. So what we need to do is that we need to give a very good customer service, because I think a very good customer service is something that is very difficult for someone to copy. They can try to give a good customer service, but to go up to our standard is kind of difficult. So right now we try to focusing on to give out a very good customer service.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Umar. Okay, let's see in the chat box if there is more questions. Have you answered the one that Nazlin asked about examples of challenges you face as Airbnb hosts?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge that a lot of people face as an Airbnb host is the operation side. It's very difficult for you to, like, you need to clean the house and you only have 2 hours to clean up the house. Okay, so if you have 1 unit, that's fine. You have 2 hours to clean the house. But what if you have 23 properties? People check out at 12 p.m. and they're going to check in at 3 p.m. So you have 3 hours in order for you to clean 23 houses. So how are you going to do that? I think that is one of the challenges that I'm facing. And another challenge is that you will meet with a lot of, so when you are dealing with peoples are unpredictable. It's very difficult for you to predict people's behavior. So like for me, I have to deal with 23 different behaviors, 23 different expectations. So I think those are the challenges I'm facing. You know, when dealing with peoples are very difficult. And yeah, I think Moose and also Fathin, they have kind of similar questions. They ask me, what is the plan for the business? Do I have plan to expand my business? Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find those who have, because there's a lot of people out there, they own a house, but then the house is not making any money. They have, for example, they have to pay the bank 2,000 ringgit per month, but they can only rent it out for 1,000. So every month they have to fork out 1,000 ringgit out of their pocket in order to serve the loan. So we're trying to find these kind of people. We want to offer our services. We want to tell them that, okay, let's partner up. Let's do a partnership. You give your house to us. We're going to turn your house into a smart home. We're going to put it on Airbnb, and we try to help you to get more than the average rental rate that you are getting right now. So that is our plan in the future. We want to help people, people that are facing trouble paying the bank loans for their house.
All right, so we have a few questions in the chat box, so I'll keep on reading. Okay, Mawar Yudiana asks, if a person wants to start business with Airbnb, how much money as beginner need to prepare?
I don't have a, it's not like operating a franchise or what. There's no definite answer. It all depends on where you wanna where are you going to open it up. Yeah, it doesn't have a definite answers.
Specific amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. All right. So Fateh Nazira asked, do you have any plan to expand your business?
Yeah, I think I answered that with same to most questions. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was the same question. All right. So, what about this Jack Izad? He asked, he said, thanks for the great talk, Omar. Interested with your business model. I'm just wondering how much the capital do you need to turn the rental properties before post it in the Airbnb market?
Again, this is all depends. There's no
Depends
specific,
on-
there's no specific amount. I mean, like, we can have a talk more if you are very interested. If you have a property ready to do Airbnb, you can just hit me up on Instagram or
Yeah, I
PM me.
think if any one of you guys are interested with Mr. Umar's business, you can contact him personally at his Instagram. It's in our poster. You can have a look at our Instagram, Smart Youth 2020. All right, for Nazlin, she asks, have you experienced people break something in your house, and how do you solve it?
Okay, so good thing about Airbnb. So we are only on Airbnb. So Airbnb provide up to 1 million ringgit worth of insurance. So if the guest were to break your house, were to burn your house or anything, Airbnb will insure your house. So that's how we. So we don't really worry about that. So that's why we only use Airbnb.
So, whoever rents out Airbnb, the insurance is covered, yeah?
Yep.
I see. Okay. All right. So, next question. Afika Najmi asks, who is your idol in Airbnb field and why?
Oh, there's no idol in Airbnb field, but there's this one YouTube channel that I always listen to. It's called Airbnb Automated. So this is this is the only guy that I listen to whenever I go to YouTube. I learn a lot from him.
All right. Okay, thank you. All right, so one of our lecturers, Sir Amran, he asked, do you prefer landed property or apartment?
Okay, so when I started, I prefer apartment. I prefer a fully furnished apartment, so I don't have to break my banks in order to get the house live. But right now we are looking more into a landed property because of MCOs. People actually looking for a landed property that they can gather their families, their friends. So right now we are actively looking for a landed property, especially in the Lembah Klang.
The Maklang area. All right. So the next question is from Abudi Tani. He asks, Salam Umar, how did you overcome the transition from planning to executing your ideas?
This is quite interesting questions. I don't even know how I did that. I just like, well, what I did was like, I wanted to open Airbnb. I contact the agents. I straight away pay the booking fees, and there's no way, there's no turning back. So yeah, I think
So it's like just go with the flow.
just do it. Yeah. But
Yeah.
make sure
All right.
you do it with a proper plan. You do it with knowledge. Don't just like simply do it without knowing anything.
Yes, true. Like Mr. Umar mentioned before, he read a lot of books and he watched a lot of videos. So I think that's like definitely a startup for you to, if you want to venture into business, you have to know the knowledge behind it.
Mhm.
So the next question, Fatih Nazira asks, do you really think this business will still be relevant for another years and why?
I think you have to rephrase the questions. You should ask that. Do you think hotels will be relevant in another years and why? So I think in another years, in a few years more, hotel will be in a very bad situations because first hotel is very expensive. And right now, I see that hotel is only relevant to those who are traveling for business purpose, traveling for corporate purpose. So if you are traveling with families or friends, people would prefer to go to Airbnb because Airbnb is bigger, the price is cheaper, and you can do you can do a lot of things over there. You can cook, you can do things that you cannot do in hotels room. So I think this business will be relevant in the next 50 or 60 years. The hotels industry, it's the one who are hurting from Airbnb because I worked with hotel before. I worked with Hotel Equatorial for 2 years. So they are really having trouble keeping up with Airbnb. Airbnb is really hurting their business, taking a lot of their market share.
I see. All right. Okay, so we have another question from Shahid Shah. How do you retain your customers? As we know, Airbnb is only a platform and we don't know what might happen in the future to the platform. Do you use your follow-up email or own website?
Okay, so to be really honest, I don't do anything to retain the customers. First thing is because I don't know how, and the second one is that I don't have time. So if you follow my Instagram or you follow my Twitter, I keep on asking people, do you know any grade A students? Do you know any A+ students that just graduated in marketing so that I can hire them to help me doing this kind of thing? So yeah, to answer your question, I don't do that. I'm looking for a fresh grad students that are very passionate working with a startup. They are and grade A student that want to do something different, not to work with a corporate, but to work with startup. So if you or you know anyone that could do that, you can hit me up on Instagram.
Right, definitely. That is a very good opportunity for us young people because, as you know, with COVID-19, there has been it's been very difficult for our graduates to find jobs and stuff like that because you see people want working experience and all that. And for Mr. Umar to help out these fresh grads, that's a very honorable thing to do. All right, so the next question is from Muhammad Shazwan. The house that you rent is fully furnished or just empty house?
It's fully furnished.
Fully furnished. All right. And Moose 1402 asks, do you have any tips how to turn a house into Airbnb worthy if there's no touristy attraction nearby the place?
Okay, if there's no, I mean, like, okay, so if you want to open Airbnb, you need to do research for that area. You need to make sure that that area has hospital, that area has a business place, that area has universities, and that area has touristic attraction like shopping malls or whatever. If it doesn't have 4 of these, then don't open it up. Don't waste your time.
All right. Okay. So Dara Swandanas asks, what's your favorite business book that helped you do what you do now? Favorite book? Business book.
There's no one specific business book that helped me. So it's just if I were to suggest one very good business book, it will be Entrepreneur Revolution. I really like that book. That book really opened up my mind. It will help a lot of us who wanted to start a business. It's a very simple book. It's like a business 101 book, but it helps me a lot. Entrepreneur Revolution is a very good book. Give it a read if you're looking for
Right. Okay, so another question from Jack Aizad. He asks, how did you handle the maintenance cleaning in your Airbnb? Did you out?
Yeah, I think Lena is cutting off. Can you guys still hear me? I'm just gonna read through all the.
Hello.
Hi.
Very disconnected.
Yeah, I think you were cutting off.
Okay, I lost. Yes, I lost all the questions in chat box.
Okay, it's fine.
So,
it's fine. I just answered the questions.
If you want to.
Yeah. Okay,
yes,
so
Jack's
Isaac asked that how did I maintain the cleaning of the units since I have 23 properties. So what I did was currently we are hiring 5. We have 5 team members. So all these 5 people, 4 of them are doing housekeeping and 1 of them is doing the property management. So yeah, we have our own team. So it's no longer, so when you have 23, you have to have your own team. because it's no longer feasible for you to outsource this. We even converted one of the units into an operation room. So we put all the we do internal laundry as well. So it's becoming like some sort of HQ for us. So another question is that what is the benefits of using Airbnb compared to homestay without Airbnb? I don't know. It's just a preference. You wanna go for Airbnb. If you want to use Airbnb or you want to use homestay, it's your preference. But yeah, Airbnb, like I told you, they are very they have a lot of insurance coverage. They are an established company, so it feels safer to use Airbnb compared to other homestay. Do you think paying thousands of money for business stock is worth the knowledge, or spending money on business book is just enough? Okay, so I did go to a couple of talk, like the business talk, but I don't spend thousand for it. So before this I did spend a lot of money on books. So until till right now I stopped spending money on books. So what I did was, at first I spent money on books. I tried to read a lot of books, and right now I think that it's time for me to slow down on reading. What I did was, the money that was supposed to use to buy the books, I use it to buy the lunch, to meet up with people that I want to connect. So for example, I find these people interesting, I hit it up on Instagram or on Twitter. I say that, can I buy you a lunch? Can I take you out for a lunch so that I can talk with you, so that I can connect with you? So that was I did. I gain knowledge first, and the next one is I try to create network. Do you think Airbnb will have any legal issue in the future, like what's happening in Sabah? Yeah, I think so. I think Airbnb. So Malaysia is the only one of the few countries in the world that doesn't have any laws regarding short-term rental. So they're going to implement it soon. It's hard to promote business. Do you have to spend a lot of money on promoting? No, I don't spend a lot of money on promoting. I'm using the unique story that I have. I tell people my stories. I use the USP. I use the power of viral to promote my business, and I use Airbnb to promote the business. Are you planning to own your properties and convert them to Airbnb? Yep, we do own a few properties that we own ourselves, and we convert into Airbnb. What is the best strategy to attract more people and gain their trust? Okay, so on Airbnb, you don't have to do that, because Airbnb, they live on the review system. So whenever you book a place, after you have stayed at that place, you can leave a review, and the host can leave you a review. So Airbnb is live based on trust. So that's why reviews on Airbnb is very, very important. If you take a look on our Airbnb, if you go to Smart Home Airbnb, you Google it, you're gonna see that we are the only operator in Shah Alam that has over 1,000 reviews. So we collected all these reviews. We want to gain trust from people. When did you? Yeah.
All right, Mr. Umar. Sorry to interrupt you. We have another
Okay.
4 more minutes to answer questions. All right. Okay. So you can continue.
Yeah, I think
answering
this was the
questions.
last questions. When did you start hiring people to? Yeah.
Oh, that was the last.
When did you
question. All right.
when did you start
Okay.
hiring people to help you manage the workload? I think I start hiring people when I no longer have time to do it. Yep, I think that's all.
All right. Is
Yeah.
that it? Okay, thank you so much everyone for the questions. I hope the explanation from Mr. Umar was clear. All right, so now that we don't have any more questions, it's my time to ask the questions with our quiz session, where you will be able to stand a chance to win some cash prize if you answer correctly. All right, so I have 3 questions for you, but in order to answer this, you have to open your camera and open your microphone and answer it to me directly, not in the chat box. Is that clear? We're gonna win some cash prize here. I'm not kidding you. Okay, so the first question is, in what year did Mr. Umar begin his business? Any takers for the first question? You have to open your camera and speak.
$2014.
2014, correct. Sorry, who answered that?
Muhammad Haq.
Huck. All right, Huck. Congrats. You're the first winner for our question. All right, session. All right. Okay. The second question. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
What is one of the advice that Mr. Umar would tell his 20-year-old self?
To read a lot.
Sorry. Can you give out your name?
Moose. To read a lot.
Moose. All right. Read a lot. Another one,
Yeah. Uh,
if you can remember. It's correct already. I just want to test you. All right. Congratulations, Moose. You won also. The other advice that Mr. Umar would give is to get his parents' approval and dua as well as blessings. All right. So the third question and the last one is, what is Mr. Umar's business unique selling point?
Smart
Can
home
anyone answer?
business.
Smart home
Sorry?
Airbnb. Smart home
Uh,
Airbnb.
Smart home.
can you say your name?
Najiha.
Najiha?
Yep.
All right. So what was your answer, Najiha?
Smart home Airbnb.
Smart home Airbnb. I'll take that answer. It's smart home technology, but there's smart home in it. So congratulations. You are a third lucky winner for our quiz. All right. So our team will contact you guys shortly, yeah? All right, so now for the time you've all been waiting for, it's our lucky draw session. Okay, so I would like to call upon Mr. Umar as our guest speaker to choose a random number from 1 to 121. We need 4 people. So maybe the first one, you can let me know who it is. The number.
Just pick any numbers.
Choose a random number, 1 to 121.
94.
94, right. So let's have a look. Who is lucky number 94? It's Nurul Sabrina Rezali. Is she here? Nurul Sabrina Rezali, number 94. Going once. Going twice.
I'm here.
No respond.
She,
You're
she's
here?
here. Yes, she's here.
All right. Okay. So congratulations. You're our first lucky draw winner. Okay. So Mr. Umar, can you choose one more?
26.
Sorry, 36?
26.
It's unclear. 26 or 36?
26, 26.
26, 26. Alright, 26 is Nur Farhana Abdullah. Is she here? Number 26, Nur Farhana Abdullah. Going once. Going twice. Nur Farhana. Number 26. I don't think she's here. Alright, so can you choose another one?
27.
27. All right, so let's have a look at number 27. It's Nurul Shafika binti Suhairi. Is she here? Nurul Shafika. Number 27. Going once. Going twice.
Yes.
Yes? Is that you?
Yes. I saw her name. No.
27?
This is Aida, but I saw her name in the list.
Oh, she's in the list, but why is she not responding?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I saw her name because I take her attendance before.
Nurul Shafika binti Suhairi.
Yep.
Let me check. Yeah, she's here. Yeah. Okay. Third lucky draw. So Mr. Can you choose a number?
We'll have to pick a number again. Okay,
Yeah,
50
two more.
and 61.
50 and 61. All right. So 50 is Muhammad Ismail Muhammad Zulkarnain. Is he here? Muhammad Ismail, number 51. Sorry, number 50. Muhammad Ismail. Muhammad Ismail, are you here? Let's hear the number 61, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so number 61 is Nur Baiti binti Ahmad Nazari. Is she here? Nur Baiti? Number 61. Pick a new number, all right. So our contestants have said that. So can you pick another two more numbers?
Okay, kejap eh. Give me 10 and 17.
Number 10. 10 and 17, all right. Number 10, Nur Irdina binti Muhammad Nurani. Nur Irdina binti Muhammad Nurani. Number 10, going once, going twice, not here as well. I'm so sorry. Maybe they have technical difficulties that they had to exit the Google Meet. The second number just now was number 17. Was it?
Yes, correct.
17. All right. Number 17, Putri Suraya binti Abdul Saad. Putri Nur Suraya binti Abdul Saad. Number 17. Going once, going twice. Putri Nur Suraya. Also not here. Mr. Umar, can you choose another two
Yes,
numbers?
okay, can.
Come on.
Okay, can.
I'm feeling lucky. Come on,
It's
guys.
very difficult to choose number, you know. It's very, very difficult. Give me
Yeah.
35.
1 to 121.
Yeah. Okay, let's choose 1 and 2.
35.
No, 1 and 2.
1 and 2. All right. 1, Sheikh Muhammad Najib. I don't think he's here. He's not here. He's not here. What about number 2, Muhammad Hasnan Hakim bin Ahmad Sabri? Number 2, Muhammad Hasnan bin Ahmad Sabri. Going once. Going twice. Also not
You know what?
here.
Let's
Another
choose.
two
No,
numbers.
let's choose someone on the chat box.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys, put your number inside.
No. I just picked the name. Amma Haikal and also
okay.
Nazlin.
Who? Number?
Amma
what number?
Haikal. Amma Haikal.
Amma Haikal.
And also Nazlin. That's his name.
Nazlin.
Yes, I'm here. Oh, thank you.
Mama Haikal and Nazlin, all right? So my team will take note of that. So how many lucky draw winners are already that we have? Already 3, right? 3 or 4. I think maybe we can choose one more.
Okay.
Last one from the chat box. Last number, Mr. Umar, from the chat box.
I put in the name already. It's Jack Aizat. He asked a lot of questions, so you gotta pick him.
Jack Aizat. All right, Jack Aizat. Congratulations, Mr. Umar chose you as one of the lucky draw contestants.
Thank you, Umar.
Are you here, Jack Aizat?
Yes,
All
I'm here.
right, congratulations. Okay, Now we are close for our lucky draw session. Congratulations. Please wait as our team will contact you in a short while. With that, I regret to inform you that our webinar has come to an end. But fret not, as we have our second session this evening at 2 to 3 p.m. with another credible speaker. So be sure to join us again this evening. Thank you to our main sponsor, the Rag Boutique Cafe, for sponsoring our webinar for today. Once again, I'd like to thank Professor Datuk Sri Dr. Syed Arabi Aidid for gracing us with your presence here today. Thank you to our speaker, Mr. Umar Abdul Aziz, for a very interesting talk. And lastly, thank you to all participants for joining our webinar here today. We hope you gain immense knowledge through our webinar and helping you to become a financial literate individual. On behalf of my team, I apologize for any shortcomings throughout our session today. We will end our webinar with Tasbih Kifara and Surah Al-As. All right, so with that, see you at our second session at 2 p.m. inshallah. Assalamualaikum and have a good day.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Anna, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
can the lucky draws winner